Kids, if you are away from your screens for water break or bio break, gather up quickly now. Parents, you must also watch this if you have young music learners at home so you can help guide them. Up next is an informative and educative session on voice culture. We invite Dr. Shivakumar Bhat, one of our resident gurus in CCC, to help share pointers for our young students. Another of our resident gurus, his wife, Srimati Kasthuri Shivakumar, will also be joining him, so it's going to be a double treat for us today. Both Shri Shivakumar ji and Kasthuri run a music school, International Academy of Indian Music, IAIM, in the Bay Area, with an aim to bring out the best in every student learning music. Both gurus have been a part of CCC ever since they moved from Detroit, Michigan to the Bay Area in 2014. Both of them have been very valuable supporters of CCC since then and have provided their unconditional support whenever I reached out to them for any initiative. We are extremely happy to have you both with us today and eagerly waiting to hear you. Please take it away, Shivakumar ji.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
We are going to talk about voice culture today. When we talk about voice culture, we are referring to cultivating something, enhancing something, or overcoming or concealing the flaws, if there are any. What is important when singing? Anybody can say easily, like Shruti Shuddham, Laya Shuddham, then Bhavam, voice modulation, perfection in pronunciation, even facial expression. These things are very important. The process of achieving all these things is called voice culture. Some people may naturally have these qualities, at least 4 or 5 qualities, and others may have to work for it. So, but not everybody can have everything in their voice. So, culturing the voice is a long process. Remember, culturing the voice for Carnatic music is different than culturing for Hindustani music, and the voice technique is different for playback singing, even though there are some similarities in each of them. So culturing techniques for female voice is different than male voice. That's also something that we need to remember. I will give it over to Kasthuri now.
So, when it comes to voice culture, our music is designed so well that the preliminary lessons has a very basic set of voice culture in it. When we start from sa pa sa, when a kid comes and starts music, we first find their pitch. So when we make them sing the sa pa sa, first we make them sing the adara shajam, which will recognize their pitch. So that itself is a very first step for finding out how their voice is going to blend in and check how their voice is. So sa pa sa is first taught, establishing their shruti, and then we start with the sarali varisai, where the swarasthanas, first taking maya malava gaula ragam, and we establish the swarasthanas, and next we go to the janta varisai, where they get more power in their voice. Usually a kid starts learning in 3 to 4 months. They finish the sarali, depending on the age. As soon as they finish the sarali varisai, their swarasthanams are a little stronger, and when they go to janta varisai, their voice gets even more stronger and their volume develops. If you note, at the end of janta varisai, their volume would have really developed, because you press on the second note, like Sa sa ri ri ga ga ma ma. So it slowly builds up the energy there. More volume comes from your tummy, and your volume develops. Then you learn the Dhat Varasa is more of complex, that is jumping of Swarasthanas, where you get more control over the voice to get the swaras. Even when it jumps, you will be able to, hold the notes in that place. And then we learn the upper sai versa, lower sai versa is to get. There are different ways to, each teacher, does in their own way. They do their lower side practice and upper side practices in different types of exercises. So which will establish the range in the voice. Range is also a proper voice technique. They have to develop the range, volume. So the lower pa is reached in the lower up sai versa, and upper sai versa they reach till the tarasthai panchamam. Sa pa. From there, pa da ni sa ri ga ma pa, da ni sa ri ga ma pa, till the higher pa you have to reach. And alankarams, when they learn and when they sing that alankaram, sarali versa, all those things in akarams, they again get more power in their voice. More techniques are learned, and they get better with these swarasthanams and all. Then they learn geetams, and it goes on. So these are the basic lessons. And again, I'm going to give it to Shivkumar to go further.
So the culturing should naturally happen after doing all these exercises. But something is missing if the teacher will verify all these things normally. Has the child developed a good sense of Shruti, sense of Swarasthanam? Is are the Swarasthanams intact? Then are they consistent? Maybe today the child may join the Shruti, tomorrow child might be a little off. All these things, something that we need to note. Then has the child developed a good voice range, like as Kasthuri said, from lower panchamam to a higher panchamam, like mandrasthai panchamam to tarasthai panchamam. Then whether the child has developed volume, that's most important. Volume. Then is the child producing the right kind of voice? Because you don't want the child to sing some through. Sometimes the children have the habit of singing through nose. Sa ri ga ma pa. They have something like pa da ni sa, like that. That kind of voice is not. If it becomes a habit for the child, then the child will continue to sing like that forever.
So the right production of voice is, we have to be very keen on making sure that the kids produce a right voice at the beginning stage itself, right?
Correct. So we also need to see if the child is singing with ease, or is the child has to strain the voice, like so a lot of children have they strain their voice too much. All kind of.
To reach the higher octave, they feel very hard. They don't use the right technique, I feel.
Correct.
So, some of those examples there.
So, these are the things that they need to work on. The main thing here is that the child has to develop these things before it reaches Keetam. So, any mannerisms or, blemishes in the voice, blemishes in the voice should be nipped in the bud, and it should be taken care right away, so it doesn't become a habit for the child.
Right.
Moving the head too much, when singing, not at all moving, like singing with totally idle, without any expression, singing, those kind of things also are not very good things. Not very good. Once these basic things are taken care, then comes the next level, which is to do more advanced swara exercise, like strengthening the akaram, then voice modulation, expression, bhavam, bhavam in singing, then speed in akaram. All these things can be achieved by different exercises. There are like the akaram, akara sadhakam. Then there is singing jantavarse in akaram. Like that, giving a strong that akaram, that will help the child develop a good stamina, good breath control, strength in akaram, strength in vocal cords. All these things will happen through those exercises. So we will we will discuss more about these things in the next segment.
Excellent points expressed in a simple and easy to understand format. We are very grateful to you both, Shivakumarji and Kasthuri, for choosing the super important topic of voice culture and sharing many valuable points. In Carnatic music, Shruti is considered the Mata. Shruti Mata, Laya Pitannu Solva. And you explain beautifully, the Shruti aligned singing is definitely doable with proper voice culture. Also for the students who wants to rush into learning kritis before learning these fundamental lessons properly, beware. There is a strong reason why the teachers want you to go in a certain order. We'll hear the continuation on this topic in the second part of the segment. Continue later in the show. The Feature Guru segment by Shri Shivkumar Bhat and Srimati Kasthuri now. When we do something with an understanding, புரிஞ்சுண்டு பண்றதுன்னு சொல்வா, it makes a whole lot of difference. Why we should practice the varisais and how we should practice them are such important aspects for all music learners, especially our young ones. Shri Shivakumar Ji and Srimati Kasthuri explain the ways to gaining a strong and Shruti aligned voice in the first segment, and let's continue to hear them more on the same topic. Off to you again, Shivakumar Ji and Kasthuri.
Welcome back. Hope you remember all the things that we discussed in the first segment. So now we will go into little details to how to overcome and how to get the best out of our voice. First thing, attaining purity in Shruti and Swarasthanam, Shruti Shuddham. So we normally give the long swara exercise. I will have Kasthuri sing that one. So here you need breath control and singing long swaram with taking a deep breath in the beginning. You can
So you hold each and every swaram for a longer time, and holding it in the same place actually is the work that you have to do. Each and every learner should do. It is about the breathing technique. You have to breathe in more and leave out, exhale in a very, so some may have problem like like that. It shakes, right? Because the exhalation is little it's not in the what to say,
it's not even.
Yeah. It kind of uneven. If you breathe out, probably that kind of tone will come. So you have to breathe out in a very steady manner to get the right pitches, and you will naturally get the control in your voice when you hold the pitch in the right place, right? So that is one thing. Shall we move on to the range of voice range?
Yes.
So once you get control over the voice, expanding the range is also very important. Reaching the lower panchamam is first goal. and reaching the higher panchamam in the higher upper octave is the goals that we have while expanding the range. For some people, they may have a very good voice of reaching, going lower than the lower panchamam and going higher than the higher panchamam. So the first technique we would suggest is try to give more volume on lower sa. Sa. If the learner is actually singing sa in a very less amount of volume, first increase the volume in the lower sa and try to give it as ha. Then try to push the voice one swaram at a time and reach the lower octave. Ha. If the sa itself doesn't have enough volume, increase your volume in panchamam, madhyamam. Pa, ma, ga, ri, sa, ha, da, pa, ma, ga. Like that you can push your voice down. Same way in your higher octave. The common thing we see is sa. They push their voice from their chest. That may not allow them to go higher than sa. Re. So that's also, it's very hard. So using the right, we are going to come to that topic now. So we have to exactly use a voice from this area. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa. Like that, you try to increase the volume, increase the pitch slowly, one at a time. Once, if you are not able to reach the pitches like that, there is another small method, especially in the higher octave too, that is even in the lower octave you can apply. Pa, sa, like that, you pull your voice and try to go up to that also works. So try these exercises at home.
So how to gain volume in voice? Back home you would have heard like they would say "Vai thorandu paaduma," open your mouth when singing. It's actually "Vai thorandu paadrathu." Open mouth is one thing, and also you have to, when opening mouth, you have to make sure that your jaw is open. The jaw is not too the passage is not too narrow. Like see, like I will show both ways, without opening jaw and with opening jaw. Like pa, like pa, sa. Okay, like then the sa, and like opening the jaw helps, and it also helps overcome the nasal voice, because sometimes if the passage is too narrow, there's not enough room for the sound to come out through mouth, then it will come through nose, so it will sound like sa, it will sound like that. So open jaw helps. So that is one thing. So another one, then going like to lower octave, I suggest sometimes press your abdomen, just like how in kritis like Shobhillu Saptaswara, Nabhi Hritkantharasana, like that, where they say Nabhi Hritkantharasana and Nasa, and then the sound also comes, the Shira head region also vibrates when singing. So this, if the sound originates from the right organ, right part of our body, then the sound sounds much better.
Yeah, the volume naturally gets nurtured, right?
Correct. When going down, like so pressing abdomen, why it helps? It gives a message to our abdomen region that the sound has to come from there. Like sa ni da pa ma ga like that. So as you can go further down like that. So this is one of the most important exercise to gain volume in when singing.
So basically the lower notes are from the abdomen area and mid notes are from the chest area, like that. Then the higher notes are from the throat, nasal and the head. You have to vibrate this area, especially here. So fully resonating from the head, and higher notes are.
You can even feel that
Feel that
you
the
know
vibration
that,
is in
like you can feel that vibration coming. Vibration is like from the head region.
So if you are trying to do like that, if you push the voice from the chest, it's not going to reach the right note there.
Correct.
So that's one way.
Let us wrap up things now. So like it's very common that lot of us focus in voice modulation, then akara sadhakam, getting speed in akaram, all these things. But if these basic things are not there in voice, then we get stuck when we come to this point. So then we go back and we have to work on all these things. Then we have to come back to this advanced exercise. And another thing that I wanted to discuss as a part of voice culture is to use the voice wisely. Means like talking too loud, laughing too loud, laughing. It creates a lot of pressure on our voice, our throat. It affects our voice. Then screaming, then coughing or clearing our throat with too hard. Like some people do have the habit of doing like that. That's a big cause for voice to spoil. Abusing voice, correct. Then using the voice, singing when you have allergies or some common cold or some sore throat. That is something that we all worry about. Lot of time we hear excuses like, oh, she had cold so she could not practice, that kind of thing. In fact, lot of voice experts believe that the part that gets affected when you have sore throat doesn't have much connection with the singing voice. As a matter of fact, the singing can help heal the sore throat much faster. That's one most important thing. And definitely you don't want to exert your voice too much. You don't want to abuse your voice when you have a inflammation around that area. So but using it a little bit will definitely help you, probably due to the blood circulation that happens in the throat region. So all these things we need to remember, and culturing the voice is much easier when if we attend to these things in young age. Once the child develops all kind of blemishes, nasal tone, not producing the right voice, all these things, all blemishes, if this happens and if continues till the child becomes 15, 16, 17 years old, then it's very difficult to change it. So these are the things that we need to remember. Hope this information was helpful for for you to work on your voice or your child's voice. Thank you very much, and namaskaram.
I've heard that sometimes students feel discouraged to sing, thinking that they don't have a good voice. But listening to you both, I have a feeling that anyone can attain a good voice with proper voice culture. Thank you for sharing without reservations these valuable points for the benefit of our young students. குழந்தைகளுக்கு புரியற மாதிரி சிம்பிள் லாங்குவேஜ்ல அழகா எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். குழந்தைகளுக்கு தானே பண்ணியிருக்கேன். I know how hectic your schedules were the past few weeks with your Zoom classes and other commitments, and I truly appreciate both of your time and effort in putting this presentation together. It's a true blessing to have you and Srimati Kasthuri as a resident gurus in CCC. Thank you, Shivakumar ji. Thank you, Kasthuri.